welcome back to Serah's computer sessions. Okay, this video is the continuation of the last one. I had been checking statements, so today I will be checking control statements. Let's start the class straight away. In the last video, I had explained about the 4 different kinds of statements that you can see here. They are declaration, expression, compound, and label. So today I will be taking control statements in brief. So what do you mean by the term control? Of course, you've heard or you keep on hearing about hearing this term control in your day-to-day life. So where can you find different controls being exercised in your daily routine, in your day-to-day life? Do you get some examples to just think over? Let me help you. See, you have heard about parental controls, right? The parental controls that you often use in your remotes of digital appliances, in websites, different kinds of websites in the internet, right? I don't think that there needs to be much more detailed explanation about parental control in here, but you got the idea, right? So parental control is one of the examples of controls that we exercise in our day-to-day life. Now, the next example that I can put forward is the game controllers. See, those who play games will understand this better. They'll be having different kinds of controls to move forward in the game, to select certain things, to just avoid certain conditions, right? So there are different kinds of controllers that come along with the different games that we get online and offline. Okay, another example for control being exercised is in our digital home appliances. We have circuit boards to control its working, right? So that is actually a control. Another proper example that I can give is the control panel in our computer. What does the control panel do, or how does the control panel help a user to interact with the computer? It actually helps the user to change the different system settings, right, according to what the user needs. The display settings, the network settings, the firewall settings, etc. So basically control actually helps one person to change something according to what he wishes, right? So another popular example that I can put forward for control is the filter controls that you get to see on the online shopping sites. Like if you enter a shopping sites for shopping some clothes, I mean, casual wears and something, you get to have filters where you can choose the color, you can choose the size, you can choose the brands, etc. So they are also controls. We don't actually take into account all these things as controls, but in actual all of these are controls exercised. Okay, so let us compare or relate the day-to-day life controls with the control statement that is being used within a program. Okay, so let's see what a control statement is all about. See, this is one kind of a statement. So that is something that you are actually writing inside a program. So control statement is a statement that a programmer has to write inside a program. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now the second point that you have to understand is, what is this control statement all about? Like in the earlier slide, I had given some examples of real life controls that we exercise in our day-to-day lives, right? So those controls are used for helping the user to do his task better, right? To select what he needs, to just avoid what he doesn't need, right? So the same thing the control statements inside a program actually implies the same concept of the control that we actually exercise in our day-to-day lives. Okay, but the difference lies in where actually the control statement acts. The control statement acts over the flow of execution of the program. The control is exercised over the flow of execution. I hope that you know what a flow of execution is, but still then I'll just explain it. Execution is, what do you mean by execution? Execution is like after you write the program, you give the program to the compiler to get it run and give you the desired result, right? So usually the normal flow is the sequential flow. Sequential flow means the execution starts from the first line of the program and moves by taking the next and the next to next lines till the end of the program. That is the normal flow of execution, right? But when you include a control statement inside your program, this sequential behavior of execution may change. Okay, so we will see how the sequential behavior changes according to what we write inside the program, what kinds of control statements we use inside the program. We'll see it in detail when we study control statements in detail. Don't get confused now. Just understand that the sequential behavior of execution may change when a control is included. Okay, it's a may change. So there is a situation along with this may change, may not change. Okay, it all depends upon the decision taken by checking a condition. Along with the different control statements we use comes a condition. Okay, that condition can be a logical condition, can be an arithmetical expression that we are going to check. Okay, so depending on that condition, how the condition gives the result, depending on the result of the condition, the action will be taken, whether to break the sequential behavior or not. Okay, so depending on the decisions, some statements may not be executed, some statements can be repeatedly executed, okay, until a certain condition prevails or until a certain condition is met. Okay, some statements will be repeatedly executed, and see, some statements can be skipped. So let us move on to the different subdivisions inside the control statement, and they are selection, iteration, and jump. So there are three different categories of control statements that we are going to look into here in this class. Okay, so first let's see what selection statements are all about. See, what do you mean by selection? What do you understand by the term selection? You're selecting something, right? Suppose like you need to reach a destination and you start driving, and there are multiple routes to reach the destination. You might choose one single route according to some of the conditions that you check inside your mind and find a result, right? You might check maybe that route will have less traffic. Some might check no, that the other route is the shortest, so I should take the shortest route in spite of the road being very bad. Still I choose to take the shortest route because I have to reach there quickly. So different routes will be selected by different people who travel on a daily basis on the public road, right? So similarly, inside the control statement, inside the selection control statement, there can be multiple paths of which one single path will be chosen. Let us see. Now, when you use selection statements as control inside a program, the flow of execution pauses on encountering that selection statement. Now, I have used the word pause just for you people to understand. We as programmers sitting outside and just saying the physical, the top layer will not understand how the execution goes inside. Okay, but just imagine that the execution just pauses on encountering a selection statement, and the selection statement will have an expression or a condition that has to be checked for its truthness. Whether the condition is true or false. Depending on the result of the check, the path will be selected. The execution path may contain one single statement or a block of statements. Now that which path should be selected, okay, depends upon the result of the expression or condition that will be checked, and the path will be chosen accordingly. Okay, so the different kinds of selection statements are if statement, if else statement, if else ladder, nested if statement, and switch statement. I will be taking all these separately in detail along with multiple programs later in my classes, so don't worry, just understand the different kinds of selection statements that are used in C programming. They are, once more let me say, they are if else ladder, nested if, and switch statement. Now let's move on to the second kind of control statement, that is iteration. Iteration or otherwise a repetition. I think in my second slide I had given you that when a condition will be checked, some statements may be repeatedly executed, right? That is what is iteration is all about. So let me see here also. It will be better if I say that the flow of execution pauses on encountering an iteration statement, and the iteration statement checks for again truthness of an expression or condition. That means an iteration statement will also have a condition or expression along with that, and this condition is checked, and the result, according to the result, some statements will be repeatedly executed. Okay, now this condition within the iteration can be checked before or after the execution of its respective block. That is a special thing that comes along with the repetition. In selection statement, the condition will be checked always before the execution of the block of statements that comes within the selection statement. But in one particular kind of repetition statement, the condition is checked after the execution of the block of statement. But just don't take it into account now. Just understand that a condition will be checked here also, and depending upon the condition, statement or blocks of statement which comes under the control of the iteration statements are repeatedly executed. Okay, so until the condition changes, that block will be repeatedly executed. So the examples are while, do while, and for. Okay, so the point where I explained that the condition will be checked after the execution, that comes along with do while. So when I teach do while in detail, I will explain how that happens. Okay, now next we'll see what jump statement is all about. What do you mean by jumping? Okay, when you jump, you can either jump on one single position without changing your position or your location. But in programming language, especially in C, jumping actually means that you're jumping from one location to another location in the same program. Okay, so jumping from a statement to another statement in the program is known as a jump. So for that we have different kinds of jump statements. Now, sorry for the different animation controls that I've given. Okay, so the flow of execution pauses and resumes from another statement, breaking the sequence. Here also the sequential flow will be broken when we use a jump statement. Okay, and the jump statements, different kinds of jump statements actually provide additional controls for iteration statements that we just saw before, that is do while and for. So the different kinds of jump statements are break, continue, go to, and return. Hello, so statements topic is over with today's class. In the next class, I will be coming with a new topic. So, hope my videos are useful for you. If you have any suggestions or any requests, please feel free to leave a comment, or you can mail me. I'll give my mail ID in here. So, thank you for watching. Once again, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hmm, and okay, we'll see you in the next video very soon. Thank you, and God bless you.